At Dot & Company, we believe that all agencies deserve amazing account managers and that all of those account managers deserve to be supported, encouraged, and loved on. That's why we started CAM Community, a membership only for account managers. And inside, you'll gain access to the exact training we use to train our own client-facing account managers, but also access to all of our SOPs, processes, and live trainings on a variety of topics. If you're an account manager, this is the place you've been waiting for. Learn more at dotandcompany.co/CAM community.
Agencies always come to Dot & Company needing a really awesome account manager. And once we deliver that, it's like they can't get enough. So often agencies are coming to us needing more CAM power inside of their agency. So today I'm talking to Lynnia and Tiffany, and we're going to discuss how two CAMs can work on one agency at the same time. We'll give you all the hot tips. So let's dive in.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat CAM life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
Okay, girls, totally excited to chat today. Of course, you guys are kind of these CAM superstars working inside of the same agency. But I would love to kind of just tell everyone kind of the tips, the tricks, and break it all down and how you guys are kind of those efficient stars inside of one agency. And what I'd love to know too, and we'll get to it, I know it's in your speaking points, or your notes, because we're CAMs and we always have notes, but I would love to know too why the logical choice was to bring on more CAMs. You know what I mean? Not, why this is such a great choice for an agency. So let's dive in. Maybe even Lynnia and Tiffany, you can give a little background, kind of just debrief on yourselves and how you kind of got here. Lynnia being kind of the OG and Tiffany joining, but I'll leave it over to you guys. Lynnia, you're up first. Tell me more about you and kind of your CAM life inside of the agency.
Yeah, so I come from a digital and content managing, coordinating background and stumbled upon Dot Agency almost a year ago, which is
oh my gosh.
I know, next month will be a year, which is super exciting. And this agency that Tiffany and I work in now came a little bit later, and they are super SEO focused and a full digital marketing agency with the side of analytics. So with those three things, see why we needed a second CAM to come in and join.
Mm-hmm. So you obviously have the background and the training, but where we needed Tiffany, and Tiffany, you're up next, but why the agency needed Tiffany was because there was so much work to be done, right? There was so much sort of new clients coming on, new business development. So Tiffany, enter you. Tell me about yourself and kind of how you got on board.
Well, I've been in the digital advertising agency space for over 4 years before this, working on a variety of different clients and different roles. I got to do right from an internship and moving up and learning everything within the agency space. I just loved it and really was eager to do the account management role. So I got started with Dot & Company about 6 months ago, and it's so funny. It speaks like worlds to Lynnia herself. She's so like on the ball. She literally was my first call at Dot & Company on my first day. Before I even had a scheduled meeting with anybody at Dot, Lynnia was like, hey, I heard you're coming to my agency. I want to prep you. I want to talk, like, let's chat. And I was so grateful for it. She made the process of getting on board and getting familiar a million times better. And because of it, I feel like I was able to integrate with the agency and get off on the right foot and start already ahead of the game with, all of her templates and everything backed with everything you guys prep us with, her real world experience. It just kickstarted me being at Dot & Company in a really positive way.
Lynnia, did you beat me to it on that first day?
You did. I guess so. I remember you telling me and I ran for it.
I'm coming for you next time. Make sure you talk to me first. Just kidding. You're probably the best resource for that. So you guys are working together. And I think when Tiffany, we were first discussing about you being with this agency and working with Lynnia, I think it was so good too, because you were new to Dot and Company, as a lot of CAMs are, and then you got that sort of expert knowledge from Lynnia, the all-star, already working, having things set up, having things organized, which I think is a lot of those early days sort of, check marks as we go through. So you guys are in the agency, you're thriving, you're loving life. Why don't you guys break out the day-to-day and, clients and who gets what and how sort of the chemistry works inside of the agency between you two?
Yeah, I can talk on that one. So we kind of are two entities working together and separately at the same time, I would say. So the agency we work with is a bit unique in so that they were scaling so much that we brought, Tiffany in, and I was already set with a certain amount of clients. And then as we were bringing more, clients in, we were kind of already prepping, the agency owner and myself were already prepping what this, second CAM could do, and also what other gaps could be filled. So it was kind of like this filling in where I could, and also breaking out points where I might need support. And so here comes Tiffany, and we had a plan already together where there were maybe smaller clients coming through to kind of get her settled in, and then, kind of waterfall into bigger clients. As I was already set with a handful of clients that I had built rapport with, and had, a relationship with, and was meeting with them on a regular basis. So the clients that were newer, and also smaller clients, I guess, that I had kind of started with and then offboarded to and transitioned them to Tiffany, as well, as kind of how it started. So now we each have a handful of clients that we handle on the day-to-day, and we have the same, I would say, process in terms of like meeting agendas and what we, provide the client on a weekly basis, the recaps and delegating the task to the other team members. That kind of has stayed the same, which is kind of cool, because if there's any time that we need to cover for each other, it's really easy to slide on it and just join the meeting and know exactly what to expect on that front, which is really nice. And then, we just kind of continuously evolve and create, better structures with each other. And we're kind of having that side conversation. Like if something happens that is unique for us to know about a client, we kind of share it with each other and say, hey, heads up, this has happened. Maybe this is something we should look into and provide, a better process or things to look out for. So when it comes to a day-to-day, we kind of have our own schedule that we're working off of. And yet we're always having that side conversation as well, and making sure that, tasks are being delegated accordingly and kind of keeping each other on check. And we also meet once a week as well, and kind of have that weekly touch base. It's ourselves and one of the operations manager as well, just kind of get on the same page and help each other out, solve problems, things like that.
That's awesome. And like, how lucky for not only you, Lynnia, but also Tiffany, to kind of have that warm up, right? Like everything kind of set in place. So Tiffany, you're kind of this all-star CAM in your own right, of course, but coming into an agency with Lynnia, how was that sort of beneficial to your, I guess, growth as a CAM, or your sort of, the kind of processes of it all you were coming in versus kind of starting it all on your own?
Well, definitely. It was great to see. Lynnia is super huge on the dot templates. She's always pulling them. And so it was awesome to come from the training background, learning the dot templates, and then seeing them implemented within the agency, and just how she customized them, how she made them her own. And the day-to-day of going through, it's kind of cool, because you'd think with two different CAMs doing the same duplicate tasks, you might be copying things or doing things twice. But because we love chatting and being collaborative because of that dot culture, then we touch base and we're like, okay, I have to do this unique thing. I'm going to ask the team, and then we'll document it so that you don't have to ask the team next time. And then when you do that, then you document it so that I don't have to.
Lovely.
It's amazing. I think it really removes a lot of duplicate tasks because we came in not just as two separate CAMs with our separate clients, but with a dot mentality of structuring and organizing everything and using all those templates and all the SOPs to make sure that, you know, work is done as efficiently and not duplicated. So that's a really cool.
And the added bonus of like speaking the same language, right? Like Tiffany, you knew what Lynnia was talking about when she's like, this template or this template, go to the CAM library, go here. And like, you kind of knew where things were, what she was talking about, which is, you know, such a bonus to the agency and so much value to adding to your team. You know, we're always boasting about, you know, how our account managers, you know, they're trained up, they're advanced, they're premium. And I think kind of that speaks to that, right? Like, it's just like ping, 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 you know where to get things, you know what Lynnia's talking about. And so does the agency, right? Because it's all set up for success, which is awesome. I love that for you guys. I think you made a good point too, Tiffany. It's not, you know, just two CAMs starting out or two account managers starting from the bottom or, you know, just from the jump. It can be a lot at the beginning, but having that set up and knowing what it all is such high value, not only to you, but to the agency, right? Kind of cuts that time. I mean, in half, but maybe like in more than half, whatever that may be. More than half.
Yeah, it's a benefit for the team members as well, because we work with the same people. We're not necessarily, you know, split with different teams either. Although Tiffany has been a pro and is working with the analytics team. Tiffany has used her hand more in on that side of things than I do, but it's great because I can kind of grab that download from her at any point and then know it's documented, and at a later point if I need it or need to learn, you know, we have it there. But it kind of helps integrate the entire team because we're coming in with the same language and they're learning it as well, and then they know what to expect from us and vice versa, which is really, really helpful.
Yeah, I love that. And so who kind of determines just like who's going where? Of course, Dot has this awesome matching process. We do kind of pride ourselves in like any CAM working with agencies, like any agency, but we do kind of have our niches, and we do kind of have those sweet spots that we know and are familiar with or really love to kind of dive more into. Maybe that's analytics for you, Tiffany. So how do you guys kind of determine who's doing what, or when those new things come up, when those new sort of tasks or new areas of the business come up? How are you guys delegating that between yourselves?
I think it probably starts with it coming forward from the agency owner, where it's either a new client or like a new idea. And we usually tend to powwow on that either internally, just, you know, through messaging, or on our weekly catch up. So I think the agency owner has a good like tab on not only our bandwidth, but also kind of our personalities and, you know, knowing from the sales call, the personality of the client and kind of where to place it. So that's helpful. And then we kind of powwow together to make sure that it is a right fit and also, you know, that it makes sense. And Tiffany has been awesome to kind of just jump in and, you know, we kind of split, you know, clients as needed. For instance, we got a new client who is a part of like a credit union, and I already have a client that is a credit union. So it's very similar and it makes sense for me to have one of those, especially since some other clients kind of, I don't know, have either condensed their plan with us or vice versa. So I had that wiggle room to add another client. So it's a little bit more logistic, but I kind of like that our agency owner kind of downloads with us and knows who we are and kind of can make a match in that way too.
Yeah. And I really love that for you guys. Of course, you're sharing all the materials, all the SOPs. Are you guys building out your own, or is it really collaborative and maybe even, you know, with other team members as well? When a new client comes on, is the onboarding process the exact same, or does Tiffany have hers and Lynnia has hers, or is it kind of, you know, agency consistent?
Pretty agency consistent. It's the same process, and that's across the board with not just onboarding, but whatever you get. It's pretty much, we're the same process through the day-to-day, through onboarding, through reporting, through follow-ups, everything like that is the same process.
And I totally baited you on that one too, because I knew you were going to say that, but like what the next level of value there is that, you know, you guys are sort of following these processes, putting them in place, and it's not doubling down on the same work. It's not Tiffany's over here, Lynnia's over here. It's so collaborative. But, you know, I think Dot and Company really does pride their account management on being like really efficient. And it's people are coming to me wondering how we can be so efficient, right? Well, these are like really great examples. It's just like working smarter, not harder, or whatever they say. I know you guys work really hard, don't get me wrong, but you know, seeing that there could be room for improvement and just kind of knowing that that works better for the business makes sense, right?
Yep. Love it.
So how many SOPs do you guys have? Full transparency, like a ton?
We do have a ton because we have.
Do you know a number?
I don't even know if we have a number.
A ton.
The CAM side, yeah, and then we have all of the team members. We have tons of folders.
Because we're always just throwing little ones in there, like just to like
I know.
little
A
process.
mini SOP. Love a mini SOP.
We're in a big SOP transition and organization phase right now too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are so excited. Hashtag Cam life. You guys are jazzed. So you guys are kind of taking on different clients, but in the same sort of, I guess, methods, same processes. Are you guys the same person or are you different account managers? What makes you different?
Oh, that's a good one.
that's a good one. I like to think we're both very like positive and bubbly and like
Totes.
happy.
Yeah.
So we get along great.
Yeah.
Dot vibes.
Yes.
Dot vibes. And then you have different strengths too, which is great, right? Maybe, Tiffany's heavy on the analytics. Maybe I know you love a project management, Lynnia. Maybe you're kind of the bubbles and the template person too. Like I can see how you guys work so well together, similar, but with strengths that work inside of the agency. So if you guys are the same person, I'd say not really, but definitely kind of this undertone of dot vibes, as we say, right?
Yeah.
Efficient, positive, the bubbles, but you know, stuff bubbles all the time. So sometimes you got to be serious and have those conversations. But yeah, kind of positive and keeping it real with clients, which is awesome. So what else are you guys doing on the day-to-day? Any secrets I've missed in this podcast?
Ooh, I don't think so. I think one of my favorite things is always like observing. I love being able to see how Tiffany does different like things differently with a client, if it's in a message, if it's in, you know, like a template, if it's in, and vice versa. And kind of like being able to have that resource and just be like, oh, I'm going to remember that, keep that in my pocket for next time. Like, oh, I liked how this was worded, you know, little things like that make a huge difference. So I always think that's kind of like on the day-to-day, just back and forth and just sharing those little tidbits.
And I think the win here too is that we had such a great relationship with this agency. Tyler, I don't think he'd have any problems with us saying his name, but Tyler came to us and was like so impressed with Dot and Company that he was growing. We allowed him to kind of grow his business. And he's like, okay, we need another cam. This is the best decision I've ever made. So I think that is obviously the goal here. But when businesses are growing and scaling because they've hired the right person and they have more time on their plate, we love seeing sort of that additional cam come through, and for all these reasons, right? So kind of recapping that you guys are on the same wavelength, you're speaking the same language, you kind of have that top tier account management style. You guys are not only efficient, really smart, really on the same level. There's no sort of, I guess, holes in the processes. You guys are definitely working together on separate clients, which is the magic, right? So I think that is a total win for any agency. And the no-brainer here is that Dot and Company cams really do make a difference, allow you to grow, and then, you know, we can grow with you, which is amazing. Anything else about working together? Any juicy gossip? No? Okay. Maybe that's a different podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming on this podcast. It's really, really helpful to see how you guys work together inside of one agency, and such a no-brainer for all agency owners out there to have Dot and Company grow with your company and have all these really awesome cams inside of your agency. So if you want more information on that, it's all in the description. Links are below, and go check it out. Thank you, Lynnia. Thank you, Tiffany. Cheers.
Cheers to happy clients.
To happy clients.
Cheers to happy clients.